What's up, everybody? I'm so sorry. I've never been this late, but my mom was having a major issue and I did not feel comfortable getting off the phone with her. So sorry. Like the video's intro plays. We got a lot to get into.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Make it make sense to me intellectually.
Make it make sense. You know what was up.
Big moves. Surfer. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things in your dream. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things in your dream. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
Left the party, and as soon as the elevator door closed, there's 3 minutes and 27 seconds of beatdown.
Scoot on over and let you whack him. Get him again. Get him for me.
Beyonce waited a long time before she stepped in between them. Yes, she almost kicked him in his area. Security guard was standing there like this is nothing new between Solange and Jay-Z. You know.
Okay, yeah. Again, sorry. I'm gonna when I get off, I'm gonna go straight over there. Completely thrown off. Somebody said that they're not getting the notifications. Yes. So now I'm a newer YouTuber, especially compared to people like Lovely T, but she made mention of this the other day. When you take time off, like I have taken time off this month, like I think one time it was like over a week and then 3-4 days at a time. YouTube will punish the content creator. They will kind of knock you out of the algorithm. They won't push your content as much. So for new content creators, definitely you want to stay on track to doing almost daily and consistent content. If you're not getting notifications, you can subscribe or unsubscribe, then resubscribe and turn your notifications on. YouTube is, I guess, technically not my boss, but they have a lot of power. So it's okay. I really enjoyed my time off. Let's start with some foolishness. Now, Diddy's male accuser's $400 million lawsuit tossed by judge after J-Lo was dragged into the drama. Hold on, this ain't even the one. It's the I think it was like $400 million one. There's been a few that have been dismissed. This was the one where the man was in jail. Okay, here we go. Diddy male accuser the male prisoner who accused Diddy of sexual assault at a Holiday Inn had his lawsuit thrown out of court this week after Jennifer Lopez was dragged into it. I don't know how the Jennifer Lopez aspect is playing out, but okay. According to documents obtained by In Touch, a federal judge in Michigan dismissed Derek Lee Cordell Smith's case on Wednesday, January 22nd. The judge ruled that the claims were barred by the statute of limitations. Derek claimed Diddy, 55, assaulted him in 1997. At the time, the law stated Derek would have had 3 years to file the claims. The recent order read, filed this lawsuit in 2024, which is long after the applicable statute of limitations. So it doesn't mean that Diddy didn't potentially do it. It just means that this is not New York City where they extended the statute of limitations. I hate this picture, by the way. I hate this picture. Janky's a good word to describe this. Okay, let's continue. Accordingly, Derek's claim is barred by the applicable Michigan statute of limitations and must be dismissed with prejudice. It just means that he cannot refile it. Diddy wanted sanctions on him. They said no, but contingent upon his behavior, he might get sanctions. Y'all, I go through so many complaints all the time, and now I go through a lot with Jay-Z. Some people file complaints every 3 or 4 days, the same person. The judge noted the court cautions Derek to refrain from duplicative, frivolous, or harassing filings, including the filing of additional lawsuits related to allegations in the case, or filing of unnecessary papers on the dockets of cases that have been dismissed. Failure to heed this warning will result in significant pre-filing restrictions placed on Derek. The judge also declined Diddy's demand for monetary sanctions against Derek, but noted they could be awarded in the future based on Derek's actions. Now, I don't know if Diddy did this, but this is where we're at in 2025. Derek claimed Diddy gave him a drink and told him that he had added a little something to it. In his suit, Derek claimed he fell asleep and woke up to Diddy having relations with a woman. Derek alleged that Diddy looked at him and told him, "I did this to you too." In his complaint, Derek claimed Diddy and government officials worked to cover up the crimes. Diddy denied all allegations and wrongdoing. This was not a case that I saw making it to trial. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think all the cases will make it to trial. Unfortunately, not all SA survivors' claims make it, especially if they don't have evidence to back up some of the claims and or people who might have witnessed the claims. But this, I don't consider this like a major win. I don't think this man was ever going to get any money. But hey, let's move on to this. Okay. It says Nashville school power. I'm down with Adolf Hitler and Candace Owens. The Tennessee school power apparently drew his inspiration for his deadly rampage from the likes of Candace Owens and Adolf, and he was even photographed doing a Nazi salute. Solomon Henderson, who fatally shot a 16-year-old student and injured 2 others at Antioch High School in Nashville, posed for a picture mimicking the dead German Nazi leader, which is downright chilling considering Henderson's age and his vicious crimes. Police say they are investigating an expansive online manifesto reportedly written by Henderson to determine his motive. The massive document includes statements such as race mixing and take revenge, as well as Hitler references and notations about previous school shootings. Regarding Hitler, Henderson reportedly hailed the dictator for his slaughter of millions of Jews, while also praising Owens, a right-wing commentator, and a far-right influencer, Nick Fuentes. In one portion of his alleged manifesto, Henderson admits he was mostly radicalized by Owens and Fuentes as well as others. Henderson wrote, "Candace Owens has influenced me above all. Each time she spoke, I was stunned by her insights, and her own views helped push me further and further into the belief of violence over the Jewish question." Now, Candace responded. We're about to go back and forth, you guys. We got 1,100 in the chat. Definitely hit the like button. Candace responded. She said, "It is truly sickening that people would use the death of a young 16-year-old girl to try to quickly score political points rather than to responsibly make sure what they are sharing is accurate. Regarding the alleged manifesto, it's an obvious troll. How can you tell? Because the deranged individual plagiarized the exact same language from the Christchurch, New Zealand manifesto, combined with other manifestos and writings freely available on the web. In essence, it is a plagiarized document. It would take 4 seconds of adult thinking and/or journalistic integrity to recognize this as a troll. On your left, language from the alleged Christchurch manifesto from 2019. On your right, language from the alleged leak manifesto circulating today. That is how it's plausible that both me and Mr. Beast, who clearly do not share the same politics, wind up once again in a manifesto. It also explains why this individual, despite his numerous accounts, never followed me or Mr. Beast on any of his socials. Now, here's the thing. That was Candace's response. So then I had to go back and see where that came from. Like, who would just make this up? If you go to News Channel 5 Nashville, this is what they had to say. Pages of writings from the accused shooter at Antioch High School showed a layout of the school, the weapons he wanted to use, and his thoughts about why he wanted to commit a shooting. The Metro Nashville Police Department identified the shooter as Solomon Henderson. He is accused of unaliving Jocelyn Escalante and grazing another student. Metro Police said in an afternoon press conference there were materials on the internet the department was looking into as part of the investigation. That's in the initial stages, but we'll continue to follow up. In his writings obtained by News Channel 5 Investigates, Henderson showed a layout of Antioch High School, photos of a handgun, a lock-picking kit, and cartridges to load the handgun. He wanted to live stream his attack in the cafeteria. Now that is sick. That is sick. The writings were connected to a social media account believed to be Henderson's. He posted the writings on the account before the shooting in the cafeteria. In one of the first sentences, Henderson wrote, "He was ashamed to be black." He was anti-Semitic in his writings and posted a flyer from the Goem Defense League, which is a neo-Nazi white supremacy group that visited Nashville this summer. Henderson said he was inspired by Candace Owens, a conservative black pundit who previously called Nashville home. "Candace Owens influenced me above all each time she spoke," Henderson wrote. His writings showed that he had been thinking about violence for a few months. He wrote his final remarks on November 18th. "I was so miserable. I wanted to unalive myself. I just couldn't take it anymore. I'm a worthless subhuman, a living, breathing disgrace. All my friends outgrew me, act like they didn't effing know me. Being me was so effing humiliating. That's why I spend all my day disassociating." He wrote he didn't intend to unalive law enforcement. But another child at school is okay. However, he did write about how he felt about the school in disparaging terms about race. Antioch High School has a diverse student body with a majority of Hispanic and black students. School is a daycare. It's impossible for you to actually think. You say things because other people have said it before, then go and repeat ad nauseum somewhere else. In school, we're taught to wake up early, shut up, sit for long periods of hours, do tasks you hate, then repeat. So this didn't just come from something random. Technically, the actual news reported from Nashville that these writings were this boy. Now, to Candace's point, if they're not, they will need to retract this. But for now, they haven't retracted anything. So I know that it really bothers Candace, especially when people bring up Hitler. It's like a 2-hour video that's basically been scrubbed from everywhere, but I think one person's Twitter account. And what she was trying to say about Hitler specifically was why he's compared to nationalist. And what the premise of what she was saying was Hitler was not technically a nationalist because he wanted everybody to be German. If he was just specific to, being very proud to be German, then it would have been different. It's a whole 2-hour video. I think it made it to the House of Representatives. They questioned Candace. It was a whole big mess, but it really sticks in her craw whenever anybody brings up Hitler. Technically, nobody wants to be in a manifesto, but if you're in two people's manifestos who are active shooters, that might be something to look at. And I don't care on what aisle you fall on. That's something to look at. Nobody wants to be included as a inspiration for a school shooter. Anyway, so I'm sure we'll keep hearing from Candace. Nicole, Mims and straight shooters must have. And so it begins. Where is it? Oh, my
Mustard
mom
on a
threw
beat, hoe.
Now, it said where Jaguar right. Did she?
I don't think Mr. Slim, I don't think anybody is. Oh, maybe you're talking about people in the comments. I don't think that the news media bringing it up, if he said that he was inspired by Candace, I think that's just anytime somebody says they're inspired by something, it draws attention, especially when, an active shooter says they're inspired by somebody. But I also wasn't reading the comments, so maybe you're talking specifically about them. Oh, Norris thinks that Candace is being set up. Explain. So you think that the news station lied? You could put in the comments. I'm interested to think. You think that the Nashville news set Candace up? You could put in the comments. Okay, let's get into this. Okay, so violence is never the way. Alexis Skyy is, we'll just say, not like the smartest person on. We'll say she's not like the smartest person on Love and Hip Hop. She's been on a few different Love and Hip Hops. This young man is a young man who's been on multiple reality shows. He is a little messy. He worked with this girl, Alexis Skyy. Alexis Skyy was supposed to be like his best friend. She alleges that he made comments about her motherhood, and she's very, very. Her daughter is special needs. So some people said that he made some disparaging comments about her daughter. He alleges that he never said anything disparaging about her special needs daughter, more so about her parenting skills. Either way, the footage finally got released, and her friends did this. You see her approach him. She throws the first lick. Then you see his friends kind of stand there, don't jump in, as her two muscle friends put their paws on him. You can see it from a different angle. Now, Alexis Skyy, I don't know how to really describe Alexis Skyy, you guys. I don't know what he was going to do with this trash can. They said all kinds of things, like Alexis Skyy was involved in trafficking. I think, let me see. I think part of her storyline was something about being involved with trafficking. Let's see. Alexis Skyy, trafficking women. Or she was trafficked. She was sex trafficked at one point. She opened up about being a sex trafficked victim. Then other people said that she was lying about being a sex trafficked victim. Then they said that she had a baby by Fetty Wap, only to later find out that she had lied about that. So nobody technically really knows what's going on with Alexis Skyy, other than she has a mean right hook and put the paws on somebody who was supposed to be her friend. Yeah, he's messy, but nobody deserves to really get their eyes shut. He released text messages where he was talking about her motherhood. I didn't see him say anything about the special needs child. So I'm pretty sure that now that this is released, whatever money she has from doing taxes currently is about to go to him. Yeah. Let's get to Chris Brown. So Chris Brown, I went ahead and I watched part of the Chris Brown documentary. It was narrated by a really good narrator, but I did feel like certain parts of it felt kind of like flat. Ariel Mitchell Kidd was in it. Y'all know how I feel about her. Oh, you decided not to watch. Okay, so if you watched the Chris Brown documentary, did you feel like it gave you any insight into what's going on with Chris currently? Let me know. Or if it gave you any insight at all. Like, was it worth the watch, basically, is what I'm asking. Not Lord, not her again. I'm so tired of them putting her in these documentaries. Oh, no wonder she thinks she's a superstar. Won't watch. Didn't watch it. Didn't watch it. Okay. I refuse to watch it. Rihanna forgave him. It felt forced. Okay, so y'all really weren't into that. I mean, we have gotten a lot of documentaries, especially about like Diddy recently. So Toria says, Alexis Skyy is always in the streets and never home with the baby. Now she is too damn old to be doing this. She is a liar and she had a podcast to talk about people. I hope he presses charges on her. He's definitely suing her. Definitely suing her. Did not watch, had no reason to watch. Damn. Okay, so I guess that was not a big one, but it might cost them dearly. Let me see. Allegations. To put it simply, this case is about the media putting their own profits over the truth. Since the beginning of October 2024, Warner Brothers were put on notice that they were promoting and publishing false information in their pursuit of likes, clicks, downloads, and dollars, and to the detriment of Chris Brown. Ultimately, on October 27, 2024, they aired Chris Brown, A History of Violence, the documentary, knowing that it was full of lies and deception and violating basic journalistic principles. They did so after being provided proof that their information was false and their storytelling, Jane Doe, had not only been discredited over and over, but was in fact a perpetrator of intimate partner violence and aggressor herself. And he showed receipts. So the girl who was talking about him has a history of domestic violence against another man. Documented. This is Hollywood is a hell of a place. Mr. Brown has never been found guilty of any sex-related crime, R-word, sexual battery, sexual assault, etc. But this documentary states in every available fashion that he is a serial R-worder and serial abuser. Ample, Warner, Cool, Carpenter, Taylor, Dorsey, and Jane Doe, who we now know to be Deja Chantel Frank, completely disregarded the facts in an attempt for fame and fortune, all at the cost of Chris Brown and the reputation he worked so diligently in redeeming over the last decade. Let's see if we can find this girl. Oh, she's pretty. Rising Stars, meet Deja Frank. Oh, okay. She's a brown skin girl. I didn't know that he liked brown skin girls. The word on the curb was if you don't pass the paper brown test, you can't be in Chris Brown's entourage. So she's a model and a choreographer. Okay. Okay, Deja. But you can't be hitting on people. New Mom says, I feel like Chris Brown has been walking around free too long. I do think that as horrible as it is to say, when you like somebody or you're a fan of somebody, it feels almost like human nature not to believe people when they come up against that person. Not you don't trust nobody with the last name Brown. I watched Not Sure How to Feel. I hope he got the help he needed. I'm biased because I want him to win. I think that's a fair question. Do you feel like somebody who has maybe a history of violence, we cannot say that what happened with Rihanna did not happen to Rihanna. That definitely happened. But do you feel, and y'all can be honest in the comments, that there is a space for people to change and grow and maybe not do it anymore? Chris Brown is a special situation, though, because Karrueche came out and said that he used to put his hands on her. And I think she said he had pushed her down the stairs and that he was still getting aggressive with her when they would see each other in public. I don't know. I wasn't there, but, you know, I also didn't watch this because Chris Brown isn't really on my radar like that. Okay. Let's see. Completely disregarded the facts in an attempt for fame and fortune, all at the cost of Chris Brown and the reputation he's worked diligently in redeeming over the last decade. Mr. Brown's past mistakes have been publicly acknowledged and addressed by him in his 2017 documentary, Chris Brown, Welcome to My Life. Mr. Brown has grown from those experiences, and his evolution speaks for itself. This new production ignores that growth, choosing instead to repackage stale accusations while amplifying them with demonstrable falsehoods. On October 27, 2024, the defendants released their documentary, which is riddled with sensationalized, unfounded, and defamatory allegations against Mr. Brown. These include accusations of violent and criminal acts such as alleged sexual assault and evidence tampering, claims that have been discredited, dismissed by the courts, or outright fabricated. Central to the documentary's misleading narrative is Chantel Deja Frank, previously identified in legal proceedings as Jane Doe. On January 28, 2022, Frank filed a frivolous civil lawsuit against Mr. Brown in LA County Superior Court case under the pseudonym Jane Doe. In this baseless lawsuit, Frank alleged claims of sexual assault, battery, violation of the gender violence statute, intentional and negligent infliction of emotional distress, and false imprisonment. However, Frank's claims were determined to be entirely fabricated, leading to the withdrawal of her attorneys and dismissal of the case on October 25, 2022, after a Miami Beach police detective uncovered text messages sent by Frank that exposed her dishonesty. Rolling Stone's March 22 investigative report further discredited her claims. A true and accurate copy of this article is attached here to and incorporated. Frank's history of violence. Let's go to the text messages first. In her complaint, the woman alleges R&B singer fed her a drug-laced drink and assaulted her on the yacht that was docked at Diddy's Star Island home on December 30th, 2020. I don't like talking on phones about shit like that. I'm just being proactive. Oh, shit. Okay, I'll get one. I definitely didn't bust inside ya. Niggas just was hella faded, so I wanted to be sure. Kissy face. Okay, babe, that's fine. I want to F you tonight at midnight, LOL. Then no response. Where you at? And then babe. Now, when you say that you received a laced drink at a Diddy party, to me that sounds possible. But then when you're saying that I want to F you tonight at midnight, a compilation of text communications obtained by Rolling Stone includes messages the woman sent to Brown the day after the alleged attack, in which she allegedly calls Brown babe and asks to see him again that night to have sex. Missing you, she allegedly texted Brown several months later, according to the messages first obtained by Radar Online. You were honestly the best dick I've had, and I want it again. I did not pre-read these text messages, y'all. I'm sorry. Put the kids to bed. Oh. Put the kids to bed. I'm sorry, because I don't know what else is about. Okay. You were honestly the best D I've had. LOL. I just want it again. Brown 32 shared the Radar story on his Instagram stories Tuesday, along with the statement, "No more dragging me through the mud," he wrote. Me and my team are taking legal action on the situation. You don't play with people's lives like that. Now, what do you guys think? The case ended up being dismissed. Ariel left her after the text messages were produced. I don't know. This is what I mean by muddying the waters. I don't know. I'm sure people could argue that. I don't know. The case was dismissed. Let's continue. That was more graphic than I expected, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Despite this, the documentary producers portrayed Frank as credible, ignoring her established lack of veracity. Frank's history of violence and erratic behavior should have raised red flags for any responsible journalist. In 2021, her ex-boyfriend filed for a restraining order after she physically assaulted him, threatened him with a knife, and engaged in online harassment. A true and correct copy of the request for the domestic violence restraining order and the court's order granting the restraining order is attached hereto and incorporated herein as Exhibit B. Specifically, on June 16, 2021, Frank's ex-boyfriend sought a domestic violence restraining order against Frank. The case was dismissed on July 9, 2021, following Frank's ex-boyfriend's signed declaration after Frank's arrest by LAPD. Status of relationship. The respondent is my former girlfriend who I met online or on or about May 2021. We have never lived together. Current abuse. Since respondent was released from jail, she has been calling and texting me constantly. She has also texted my friends with threatening messages and damaging information. Because respondent is an influencer on Instagram with 50,000 followers, many of her followers, complete strangers, are now sending me death threats. I am unable to use my Instagram or social media due to these threats. Respondent has also sent inflammatory statements and threats to my job. Damn. Frank is the girl. Her name is Deja Frank. Somebody said, who is Frank? Yeah, Frank is the girl. Okay, let's continue. On or about June 8, 2021, respondent would not allow me to leave her home and strangled and hit me. Later, respondent pulled out a knife and threatened to kill me. The respondent placed the knife against my stomach. Respondent then put knife to my neck and nicked me. The police came and assessed the situation and took respondent to jail. Let me say this, because a lot of times dudes get a bad rap. If this woman was strangling this man and this woman and this dude did not put his hands on her or like beat her down, kudos to him for keeping his cool and calling the police. Nobody deserves to get hit, male or female. Nobody deserves to get hit, male or female. So kudos to a man who did not put his hands on her. The police came and assessed the situation and took her to jail. A true and correct copy of the respondent's booking information is attached. The police also gave me an emergency protective order. A copy of the respondent's emergency protective order can be furnished to the court at the time of the hearing. Respondent has an upcoming court hearing on October 6, 2021. Why I need a restraining order. I feel threatened, abused, and afraid for my well-being and livelihood. I am very afraid of losing my job. The respondent is violent and erratic. Her dangerous knife-wielding ass... Sorry, this says was. I'm sorry, this says was. I'm afraid of losing my job. The respondent is violent and erratic. Her dangerous knife-wielding was a threat to my life. I feel unsafe and unable to use social media for work due to these threats. These incidents, detailed in court records and leading to her arrest by the Los Angeles Police Department, were disregarded by the defendants, who instead framed her as a reliable source to bolster their sensationalized portrayal instead of physical aggressor in a romantic relationship. After being put on notice that their documentary contained false claims and violated journalistic professional standards, defendants persisted in releasing this documentary. By doing so, the defendants have demonstrated a blatant disregard for journalistic integrity and truth. Their actions exhibit actual malice as they prioritize profit over facts, ignoring publicly available court records and other credible evidence. The defamatory content in the documentary has caused significant harm to Mr. Brown's reputation, career, and business opportunities. Beyond its personal impact on Mr. Brown, the documentary undermines responsible storytelling and discredits true survivors of violence. As a result of defendant's conduct, Mr. Brown has been left with no choice but to file this suit to protect not only his reputation, but also the public from improper journalistic tactics employed by the defendants. By disregarding established truth and prioritizing sensationalism over integrity, the defendants have crossed a line that cannot be ignored. This legal action seeks to hold them accountable for their reckless behavior and to ensure that the public is not misled by the distorted narratives they promote. Through this lawsuit, Mr. Brown reaffirms his commitment to truth and fairness, standing against those who exploit misinformation for profit at the expense of justice and responsible storytelling. I'm thinking, y'all, that these are just going to be the first few. And again, I would not be surprised if YouTubers start getting lawsuits. We've already seen it with Nicki Minaj and Nosy, Tasha K, and Cardi B. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. Chris Brown is suing the people who did the documentary. It is interesting to have somebody who was placed in jail for beating the hell and harassing a man as a lead witness talking about somebody else's abuse story. But again, this was another one of Ariel Mitchell Kidd's people. Let's get into this. Y'all, Buzbee is not taking this shit sitting down. So Buzbee, in the case with the young lady, the Jane Doe, who alleged that Jay-Z and Diddy did something to her, he went ahead and filed this. They had said that he wasn't really supposed to be practicing in New York. He reaffirms that he is capable of practicing in Texas and New York. But let's get into this. In 2024, I and my firm became involved in the civil claims arising from the revelation that the world-famous rapper and music star Sean Combs, more commonly known as Diddy, was accused in engaging in systematic sexual abuse and sex trafficking, among other potential crimes, over a period of many years. Let's see, sorry. I'm sorry. One of my friends is with, I guess, T.I.'s kids. Or they're at a restaurant and T.I.'s kids are there or something. I don't know. Let's see. They're not kids anymore. King has a whole baby. I'll be forgetting T.I. I was in the Atlanta. Sorry, this had nothing to do with anything, but I was in the Atlanta airport, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but there used to be like a Popeye's chicken in the Atlanta airport, and King was there with the handler, another one of the kids, and there was somebody on like an older person has a motorized type wheelchair type situation apparatus, and not only was King all over the thing trying to point to which chicken he wanted, he was all over the wheelchair running around. I was like, this is hilarious. A scooter. Yeah, let's just say King was rambunctious as a kid. And I was like, who the hell are these badass kids? And then I looked and I was like, oh, this is T.I.'s kid. Anyway, sorry. King was bad as hell. I don't want, if there is something like some glass there so that you don't be breathing on my food, I'm gonna need you not to be touching over the glass. Stay seated. You can get your 2-piece without doing all that. Anyway, he was so bad. Okay, I'm sorry. I digress. Sorry. In early 2024, Jane Doe was referred to my firm by co-counsel in this action, a respected law firm with its principal office in San Diego. At the time of the referral, I was informed by Ava Law that they had conducted an investigation into the veracity of plaintiff's allegations that she had been R-worded by both Combs and Carter at a VMA Awards after party in 2000. Ava Law referred numerous cases to us. I was informed that their intake process involved multiple interviews of each potential client, including the plaintiff in the case, including in some cases at least one, if not more, attorneys. I further understand that an attorney would interview a potential plaintiff prior to drafting a complaint, as Ava Law did here. My understanding was that only when the attorneys at Ava Law were convinced that the plaintiff's allegations were true and ones that could be pursued did they refer plaintiff to my firm. These things are important because we've seen an about face from Buzbee. A lot of people believe Buzbee. A lot of people have their doubts. I did not like when something came out. It was about the fact that, was it like Good Charlotte or somebody, one band was not there, and she said she had seen one of the members from the band, and Buzbee released a statement saying that he did not necessarily vet this person. I did not like that. What a Buzbee person in my orbit who likes Buzbee said was, that's just a statement. That's not in court documents. Wait till Buzbee puts something in court documents before you jump on that. So she knows exactly who I'm talking to. This is for you. I'm reading this for you. This is Buzbee's response in court documents. My phone is probably going to blow up after this live. I guess it is important. You can say whatever you want in the press, but what you actually say to the court is what matters. So I felt like he was kind of just saying, F it, it's not on me, when he released that statement. But he's doubling down in this filing that he just put in yesterday. After plaintiff was referred to me, I and other attorneys at my firm also engaged in further rigorous due diligence to investigate the veracity and legal viability of plaintiff's claim. At least 2 attorneys at my firm interviewed the plaintiff and fact-checked various aspects of her account, among other things, prior to revising and filing the original complaint. Prior to the filing of the first amended complaint in this action, which names Carter as a defendant, my firm undertook additional diligence efforts. These included, among other things, further intensive interviews, which essentially amounted to interrogations of plaintiff by 3 to 5 attorneys, both alone and in teams. Research and verification of numerous details in plaintiff's account, running a background check on plaintiff, and retaining a retired police detective to investigate and verify additional aspects of plaintiff's account. Each of the lawyers within our firm who interviewed Jane Doe had extensive experience and training to do so. But nobody talked to the dad. Your biggest witness in this particular case with Jay-Z is the dad. I don't know how not to be me. I think Buzbee's between a rock and a hard place, but it speaks volumes that there was 4 minors listed. And since this case came out and Jay-Z has been named and Jay-Z has sued, we have not seen any more of those minor complaints filed. Technically, they have until the end of February to file these complaints. One of 2 things happened. either they are taking their time now and dotting their I's and crossing their T's to make sure that nothing else goes wrong, or maybe some of these people, well, three things. Maybe some of these people don't want the smoke, and so they are withdrawing their claims. Or the third thing is Jay-Z's aggressive approach to this particular case has scared them off. They might be actual victims who now do not feel comfortable because Jay-Z's attorneys are sharks and will go after them. So it could be any of those things. It could be that they're still there and they're going to be filed and we'll see them, but they'll make sure that everything is done, because I do not believe that this person was properly vetted. I'm sorry. I'm still going to follow the case. Ellen says, well, you believed it, Mims. I believe that anybody who purports to be a victim has a right to file a complaint. That being said, if the complaint is from somebody who is trying to get over, then that's for the courts to decide. And if it is somebody who just lied, they might be liable for their own lawsuit. I don't think my stance has changed. Let me see. Let me see. Where were we? After plaintiff was referred to me, I and other attorneys at my firm also engaged in further rigorous due diligence to investigate the veracity and legal viability of plaintiff's claim. These included, among other things, further intensive interviews, which essentially amounted to interrogations of plaintiff by 3 to 5 attorneys. Each of the lawyers within our firm who interviewed Jane Doe have extensive experience and training doing so. Each I trust. At each point in this process, we would determine that plaintiff's allegations were credible. It is important to note that I also personally interviewed Jane Doe. Now, that was new to me. I found her to be credible and adamant about the claims she was making. I believed her and still do. With respect to Carter's associations with Combs specifically, despite it being widely known that he is a close associate of Mr. Combs, my firm conducted additional research to confirm their close connection, which further bolstered our conclusion that plaintiff's allegations against Carter were plausible, credible, and warranted legal recourse. Further, at each of the 3 pre-filing interviews that I and other attorneys at my firm took of plaintiff appeared both consistent and credible in her account of the night she alleges to have been R-worded by both Carter and Combs. Not only is he doubling down, he now has brought in a new attorney to help him. So, I don't know, you guys. I don't know. With the Jane Doe case, from the very beginning, a few things did not sit well with me. And I discussed those things and fought some of the survivors who are in my circles. We go, it's not a fight, but we go back and forth on certain things. It was the dropping off of a child. I said it from the first day. If you pick your child up in the middle of the night, did you take your child to go get a kit? I said that at the very beginning, and I still maintain that. You just never really know what's going on in the next person's house, but that did not sit well with me. And I think she initially said in the first complaint that she ran out with just a towel on and then ran to a convenience store and then called her dad. There's some, I don't know. S. Smith says they didn't have kits back then. Renaissance Woman says autistic people can be difficult to understand. A specialist would be better suited instead of lay people judging. Absolutely. I think that they did have those kind of kits. Let's see. No, they said that the R word kit was invented in the mid 1970s. They definitely had those kits. Okay, the culture has always been to keep quiet and not disgrace the family. Nothing has changed for older people. Oh, so you're thinking that if it did happen, the parents just didn't want to be, they didn't want it to be public. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if this case makes it we'll see if it makes it to trial. But what's important here is Buzbee has doubled down. Now he has not put up any more cases. In fact, I went through all of Diddy's cases today. There is nothing new. So we went from 3,000 people who called in, 300 to 400 people who had been vetted and cases would be filed. And now we haven't seen anything since basically December. I don't have a problem with people being vetted more vigorously before you file a case. In fact, I think that people should be vetted extremely hard before you file any kind of case against anybody. Yeah, no, I don't have any problem with that. Anyway, I gotta run because I need to call my mom back. We'll definitely be back tomorrow. Well, I am traveling tomorrow. If not, we'll be back on Saturday. Y'all are going in on these comments. And it said, Mims, you did say that, but in the words in the tiny room, and did anyone see the father or hear a recording from him? Is that what she said? Yeah, my B-Day is Sunday, but I got a lot going on. Let me call my mama. I'm gonna talk to y'all later. Bye, y'all.